Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So in today's Pick a Card, we are going to be taking a look at what cycle in your life is ending and what new cycle is beginning. And we're going to see what blessings will come from this new cycle and in what ways you will grow and transform. So there are 4 readings for you guys to choose from today, and each reading has a different type of agate. I'm not exactly sure the official name of this one, but this is like some golden brown agate. This is blue lace agate, this is blue agate, and finally we have cherry blossom agate. And there are also different images for you guys to choose from. These cards are from the Fallback Oracle deck by the Cancerian channel, which were very kindly gifted to me by the deck's creator. So today you have both a crystal and an image to help you choose your reading. So I'm going to show you each of the options up close one by one, and then please pick whichever one you feel drawn to the most. So here is option number 1, option number 2, option number 3, and option number 4. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number ones, so if you guys chose our little Miss Golden Brown agate here with this beautiful image, then this is going to be a reading all about what cycle of your life is ending and what new cycle is beginning. So I want to start by shuffling and taking a few cards from this Fallback Oracle deck just to get a few loving and encouraging messages from your higher self. And with this part of the reading, I want to take this moment to give you all a friendly reminder that the best way to manifest the things that you want is to be in a state of surrender. And this is what the message of Fallback is all about. This means being okay with not knowing every step of the journey. This means letting go of obsessions or feeling the need to control every little thing. It means taking action when it feels good to do so and leaving the rest to the universe because you trust it. So I just wanted to give you guys that little message. And now let's shuffle your oracle deck and see what messages your higher self has for you as you go through this next transition. Oh, I wanted to take 3, so that's perfect. All right. So the first message we have for you is trust the wait. Just when the caterpillar thought her life was over, she began to fly. Embrace the uncertainty. When nothing is certain, anything is possible. You are transforming. Next, we have balance. Slow down, lighten your load so you can float. And enjoy the process. Celebrate every small step forward. You are doing an amazing job. The journey is the gift. So I'm gonna leave these, I'll leave these here, and we might go back to them throughout the reading. But now let's get into the rest of your oracle cards. So there are 2 cards from each deck, and there will be one to show us the cycle that you are finishing off and one to show us the new cycle that you are entering into. So first, for your old cycle, we have Aquarius with I Know. And the new cycle you're stepping into, 10th house with the World. So first of all, with this Aquarius and the message of I Know, speaking about the cycle that you are exiting, it does seem like you're going to be walking away from things that you are familiar with. So things like an environment that you have been in forever, tasks that you have repeated over and over and over, places and people that you know like the back of your hand, and you're venturing out into this great big world now. So it feels like a lot of you guys are diving into an environment that is completely unfamiliar, and that it could be quite vast and intimidating at first. So things that are coming to my mind is like a complete career change. And with messages like this, I would definitely think that this would likely be something in a completely different field, something unrelated to what you have done before. It could be that you are completely changing your field of study, so you're kind of starting from scratch and learning all brand new things. You could even be like physically venturing out into the world, like maybe you're moving to a new country. Again, this feels like a really big move for me. So rather than just, moving houses within your city, this really seems like traveling the world to me, going to another country where the culture is completely different, or it's a different language that is spoken, because there's that feeling of unfamiliarity. There's that feeling of something being brand new and a little bit scary, and unlike anything unlike anything you have ever experienced before. I'm also thinking with this clock here, it could be like you're moving to a completely different time zone. So where you are now, when it's daytime, it's like the middle of the night there. It could really be like an other side of the world thing. But what's interesting is that with the energy of Aquarius is sort of like the black sheep, or feeling different, feeling eccentric, feeling like you don't fit in. And what I think is going to be kind of ironic about your big move here is that you will actually feel more at home and more belonging, like you fit in the place that you are going to. So it could be like you never felt really like you fit in or belonged in your hometown. Yes, it's very familiar, like you've been there forever, you know everything about it, but it never felt right. It never felt like it clicked with you. And then you move to this completely foreign country where you don't know anything, but somehow it just feels right. It feels like you really belong there. And same thing with the example of moving into a completely different field of work or a completely different field of study. It's nothing that I know. It's nothing that I've experienced before, at least in this incarnation, but something feels so nostalgic and familiar about it, and I feel like this is my home. So that's kind of the irony in it. By moving away from what you know and what you're so familiar with, you're actually finding your home and the place where you belong. I also want to point out Saturn, which is present on the Aquarius card, because this shows me that it's taken you guys a lot of hard work and discipline to get to this point now where you can venture out and make this change. I feel like you guys have worked really, really hard. Maybe at times you had to do some things that you didn't want to do. You had to keep your head down and stay disciplined so that you could make it to this point. And this feels like your moment of breaking free, truly. So I really, really like this energy so far. Let's take a look at your cards from the next deck. So with your old cycle, look, we have home. So there is a message of you guys moving away from a certain home. Now, I'm thinking more of this as like a physical home, just a place that you have lived, a place where you have resided and been settled for a very, very long time, and not so much the true home of your soul. Well, the true home of your soul is you. It's everywhere. But what I mean is that you're moving away from your physical home, a place that you're used to, into a new place that you are not used to. And then, oh my gosh, look, wait. Yeah. Look, it's the same message. Lighten your load, lighten your load. We have the message of lighten your load for this new cycle, and I also think it's very interesting that we have the globe, the image of the globe as well. So there could definitely be travel or moving to another country in this new cycle, or maybe you guys are like studying abroad for a few months, or maybe you are getting a new job that allows you to travel, or where you're doing a lot of business with people from other countries and you'll be exposed to new cultures. But there's definitely something here about your horizons being expanded and you being introduced to more diverse cultures or a different part of the world. I feel that really strongly for you guys. With lighten your load, this could be talking about you guys, again, like you've been working really hard, you've been really, really disciplined, and I feel like this is coming to an end. So this new chapter that you're in, I feel like you won't be working as much, or there's something about the work that you're doing that it's going to be easier or it's going to be less stressful. And that could just be because you enjoy it a lot more and because you feel so much more comfortable in your environment. There's no added stress or added things weighing on you, and you can just fully focus on the work that you're doing. And I'm also thinking this could be like in a literal physical sense, you are lightening your load, like you're moving and you're getting rid of a ton of your crap. Like maybe you guys have realized that a lot of your physical possessions are just weighing you down. Like you don't really need them anymore. So you guys could be getting rid of a lot of your stuff too. Maybe some of you guys are even like backpacking, or you're going on a journey where you're traveling to many different places. And so you're carrying all of your necessities with you, I guess literally on your back. So there's a need for you to purge and to rid yourself of any unnecessary possessions or any unnecessary weight. So this is really freeing. Like this transformation that you're going through, a lot of weight is being lifted off you in the emotional sense and maybe even in the physical sense. For your next deck, we have I Love You and The Right Path. So this is kind of a bittersweet message because it looks like in closing off this cycle, you will be separating from people that you love. So again, I know I've said this so many times, but like moving away, for example, you have to say goodbye to your family and friends, or if you are graduating, if you're moving out of your job, if you're changing classes, you're leaving the group that you have spent so many of your days with and that you have formed such a close bond with. So there may be some people that are very dear to you, people that you love, that in this new chapter of your life, you won't be able to see them as frequently as before because you're physically far away from them. And this is like the only way to interpret this that I can think of, that you guys are physically moving away. I can't say like you won't see your loved ones as much because you're going to be so busy, because your load is lightening. You're actually going to be more free and have more time to do what you want. So the only thing I can think of is like a physical distance between you and the people that you love. But it's really, really nice to see in your news cycle that you're on the right path. You can see like this is you walking away from somebody. I imagine this is your loved ones, and even though they will be sad to see you go, they love you. They understand this is something that you have to do or something that you really want to do. They understand that you need to go find your place. You need to find your home and that environment that you can really, really thrive in. And so they're extremely proud of you, even though it is very bittersweet to say goodbye to you. They still love you no matter what. And I believe that you guys will stay in touch with these people because it looks like you're very, very close. It could be a little bit sad in the beginning, but hopefully you guys will get used to the new distance and the new dynamic of your relationship. This could even be an opportunity to really prove how close your relationships are. Like, even though you're far away, you still keep in touch just like any other time. You still stay close as if you were together. It will really be a testament to how strong your bonds are. And of course, in this new environment, you will be forming new bonds, making new friends, becoming close to new people. Ooh. So your circle is expanding. So for the final deck to represent your 2 cycles, in the cycle that's ending, we have defeat. In the cycle that is beginning, we have movement. So I am kind of picking up that in your current cycle, in the cycle that is going to end, you guys have been feeling kind of like meh about the way that your life is, I guess is the best way that I can put it. Feeling dissatisfied or unfulfilled in some way, or even feeling like it is too much on you, like you're working too much for something that doesn't fulfill you, like you already know everything is too familiar. It's like you're itching for something new, you're itching for some change. And perhaps in the past you guys have like accepted defeat, so to speak. You've just accepted, this is the way my life is going to be, or this is the way life in general is. You just have to suck up these things that you are dissatisfied with. But I feel so sad looking at this star, because this star reminds me of the star in tarot, which is all about, oh, and actually that relates to Aquarius. So I don't know if you guys have some strong Aquarius energy, but the star in tarot is about this bright future. It's about your hopes and dreams. It's about letting your light shine. And I feel like you guys have had such high hopes for life, and then life kind of disappointed you. And it hurts more because you had those high hopes in the first place, because you had that light that was shining so bright that got dimmed over time as you went through these trials and tribulations of life. And it's like this person who was once so hopeful and so bright has been let down, and we can see them crying. But I feel like in this new cycle, you guys are coming to a realization that I don't have to accept this defeat. I can still choose to let my light shine. My light hasn't gone out yet. My light will never go out. And if I'm not feeling it in the environment that I'm in with what I'm doing, I can choose to move and I can make something new happen, because I have that magic in me with this magic wand. And again, movement. It's like, I don't know if you guys have zero idea about moving away or zero desire about moving away, maybe this is not your pile, because so many things are pointing to a physical movement, going to a new place. We have the movement, we have you walking down this path, we have the planet Earth being shown twice. Yeah, so I would bet for most of you this is like you're going on a trip to multiple different countries as a part of your awakening, or you are going to work or study somewhere else, you are relocating to a new country, changing jobs, changing your field of study. It is a big transformation, and you're moving away from everything that you know, everything that you are familiar with. You're moving away from a place that you have stayed for a long time and people that are close to you. Wow. All right. So these are all the messages that I'm getting for your oracle card. So let's move into the tarot section of this reading now. So what I want to find out in this part of the reading is how this transition is going to come about. So how this cycle ending and beginning is going to happen. I want to see what blessing this new cycle is going to bring you. I want to see how you will grow and transform in this new cycle. And finally, I want to see if we can get some time frame for all of this going down. And I am being called to just take one card for each of those points. Because there was some message about like spirit might not want to reveal everything to you just yet. So we're going to keep it simple in this part and just do one card each. So the first thing that I'm going to ask Spirit is, how is this transformation going to come about? This shifting of cycles, how will that come about? Ooh. Let's try that again. Okay, there we go. So it's the King of Wands. Immediately, you guys know I'm always like referring to different decks when I use the tarot decks, but the message that came to my mind so strongly is from the Angel Tarot cards, and it's the message of advice from somebody creative. So I do think it's going to be you who makes the decision and makes the move for this to happen, but it's like you've been watching somebody who really, really inspires you. This could be somebody you know personally. It could be like somebody on social media that you watch from a distance, or even a public figure. But it's like you've been watching somebody who has really taken charge of their life. They're living life completely on their own terms, without ever just blindly accepting the circumstances that are handed to them. They're saying, no, this is the life that I want to live, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to make it happen. So this person gives you empowerment. This person gives you inspiration. This person makes you want to become your own leader and the boss of your own life too. It's like through you watching this King of Wands, you've become really inspired that you can make this happen. And you might even be reaching out to this person, because the message that jumped out for me was advice from someone creative. So whether this is someone in your circle or like outside of your circle, like you've just been watching them online, Spirit is encouraging you guys to reach out to them so that you can get some advice from them and some words of encouragement from them. This person may be someone who is making themselves known to you soon, if you don't have any idea about who this is already. But I do feel inspiration from someone else is going to be something of a catalyst for this transformation, and you'll also get some valuable information from them. They will give you some insight of how you can make this happen and what steps to follow by sharing how they did it. And they can also give you some advice of, how to adjust to the transition and how to keep believing in yourself as you go through the steps. And they're going to make you feel courageous that you can go out and do this too. They may be a fire sign, because the King of Wands represents that, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. But it doesn't have to be. This fiery energy is more showing that this person is bold and passionate, and that they're a leader and they're a go-getter. They go out there and create the life that they want. The next message I want to see is what blessings are going to, what blessings are going to come to you guys. So we have the Devil and we have the Six of Pentacles moving up in your career for sure. You guys have, you have 2 sixes, because you have the number 6 and you have the number 15, which adds up to 6. This talks about balance, harmony, and peace in your life. I do feel that you guys are going to have a really good work-life balance, or like professional and personal balance in this next cycle of your life, whereas in the old cycle it felt like you guys were really pushing yourselves and really working very, very hard. But this is like Saturn rewarding you, and we actually have Saturn and Capricorn energy in this reading, as well as Aquarius energy, because this is Capricorn, and Capricorn is also associated with the 10th house. In this new cycle, you guys are gaining status, you're gaining a good reputation, you're going to be in a high position with whatever work you're doing. And the Six of Pentacles as well. This is about financial gains, a higher position, which has more responsibility, but also more reward. And this is also your hard work paying off. So basically your blessings here are higher status, higher financial gains, more recognition for what you're doing. This is really nice energy, the Devil with the 10th house. I know that the Devil can look like a scary card, and oftentimes it does have a negative meaning, but because we're pulling this card in this section about your blessings, and we also have the 10th house energy here, I feel like this is more showing you guys like ambitiously moving up the ladder with what you're doing. But I don't feel you guys being overworked at all. Maybe you guys are moving somewhere where like the I think work ethic is the right word, is very healthy. Like I'm thinking of countries in Europe, for example. I don't want to generalize because obviously I don't know about every country, but an image that I've gotten is that some European countries are a lot more healthy with the number of hours they work, and like when you're on vacation, you're on vacation. Like you're not going to be checking your emails, you're gonna be resting like you're supposed to. And then when you're at work, you work hard, you're efficient, you get stuff done. So maybe that's gonna be the environment or the culture that you guys are in. Because you have two number 6s here, I really, really do think that you're going to have wonderful balance and health in this point of your life. So I'm personally not really feeling anything scary from the devil in this context. And besides, look how cute this card is. All right, so I said I wanted one each, and then Spirit said no, we're gonna take 2 for this one. So what was the next one? Yes, how you guys are going to grow and transform in this new cycle. All right. How are you going to grow and transform in this new cycle? Ooh, Queen of Cups. So you guys are becoming a master over your emotions. The Queen of Cups, she makes me think of somebody who makes decisions from their heart, makes decisions from their emotions. It doesn't mean that she completely dismisses logic and rational decision making, but she understands the role of emotions and the role of what your heart and soul wants in making choices for your life. And she understands that it is foolish to stifle your emotions, because this is your life. You want to do something that makes you feel happy. You want to do something that makes you feel at peace and something that fulfills you. I feel like you guys are also becoming somebody who values your peace and emotional fulfillment above all else. And you're gonna start to find like there's very few things in life that are worth compromising your peace of mind, you know, like no job, no level of success, no person is worth compromising that, because at the end of the day, that's all you have. Your happiness and your peace of mind, it's your greatest, most valuable asset. So you're going to start to treasure those a lot more, I feel, in this new cycle. I feel like you guys will take a very active role in, the phrase that came to my mind is preventative mental health. I don't even know if that's the right word, but it's like rather than dealing with it when it's already bubbling up to the surface, you're taking measures in your day-to-day routine to prevent things like a breakdown or an anxiety attack or something like that. So making sure every day that you have some time to disconnect and to breathe, being conscious of breathing slowly, making sure that you are eating well and hydrated and that you're getting fresh air, making sure that you're sleeping enough. That's a huge one. Oh my gosh, when I don't sleep enough, I'm a mess. But doing little things in your day-to-day life so that your mental state and your emotional state is more manageable. And I don't want to claim that these things are like the be-all end-all cure, but it helps you to maintain a good level for most of your time. I also have a message with the Queen of Cups that your psychic and intuitive abilities are heightening in this next cycle of your life. My guess would be because in order for you guys to make this decision, you had to be listening to your soul. Your soul had to feel seen and recognized. So I feel like through taking this leap, you guys have developed a much closer relationship with your soul. You're always, looking within, tuning in, checking in for what your soul is saying, what your soul wants, what your soul needs. You're becoming very in tune with yourself and very at peace with yourself. Also in this new cycle, I see you in like a nurturing energy. So for example, some of you guys might be getting a new pet, or you might be taking care of many plants. I see you nurturing and taking care of something. Or that could be something that you do in your job, like caring for people, caring for animals, or caring for children, or something like that. And then finally, this last card is going to maybe give us a time frame. Oh, we have the Tower and we have the Knight of Swords. Okay, yeah, we're not really getting a time frame with these ones. The Knight of Swords would imply that this could be happening much sooner than you think, because the Knight of Swords is the fastest knight, and the Tower would imply something that is kind of sudden and abrupt. So unfortunately, I can't predict an exact time frame for you guys. I just can say it will likely be sooner than you think. So if you guys did have a time frame in mind, or even a timeline that you had planned out, it will be much sooner than that. And with the Tower as well, it's kind of like the universe is going to give you a nudge or give you a push in that direction. There's an analogy, like if you're in a boat here and Spirit wants you to get into this boat, the Tower, rather than Spirit being like, come over here and calling you over, it's more like Spirit punching a hole in your boat and being like, oops, what are you gonna do now? So there might be some unexpected abrupt change that happens in your current situation that really pushes you or urges you to get over here as soon as possible. And I'm sorry that this is the note I'm ending the reading on, because I know that that could sound kind of like ominous or scary, but I feel like it's more something where Spirit is like, come on, you've been wanting to do this, and you know, now's as good a time as any, and I see you hesitating, so I'm just gonna put something in your current situation to make it easier for you. Yeah, so your time frame seems to be very, very soon, or sooner than you were thinking. So these are all the messages that I have for you guys. I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best in this new cycle. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a-cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi, number twos. So if you guys chose the blue lace agate and these pretty butterflies, this is going to be a reading all about what cycle of your life is coming to an end and what new cycle is about to begin. So I want to start off this reading by shuffling and taking a few cards from the fallback deck so that we can get some loving and encouraging messages from your higher self as you go through this transition. And I also want to take this moment to give you guys a friendly reminder that the best way to manifest whatever it is that you want is to be in a complete state of surrender, and that is what fallback is all about. So being okay with not knowing, not obsessing, or feeling the need to control every single little part of your journey, taking action when it feels good to do so, and leaving the rest up to the universe because she knows best and we trust her. So with that message, let's get into the deck now and see what your higher self would like you to remember as you go about your journey. What does your higher self want you to know as you close off this old cycle and begin a new one? What does your higher self want to tell you? All right, so our first message is, you are enough. You always have been, you always will be. Release attachment to relationships and achievements to feel worthy. Pause take a moment, close your eyes, relax your body, just breathe slowly, deeply. And finally, create your joy. Smile and laugh. You deserve to be happy for no reason. Take time to do what feels good. I actually want to mention something because this is the second time that I filmed this reading. I didn't get past this part where I shuffle the deck, but I stopped filming because there was a guy outside with a megaphone and he was really loud and he wouldn't stop talking. So I just let him finish, and then I started over, and this card came out the first time too. So even when I turned off the camera, put the deck back and restarted, this card came out again. So this must be really important. Your higher self really, really wants you to know this. The sentence that sticks out the most for me in this card, that touches me the most, is you deserve to be happy for no reason. So you don't have to earn your joy. You don't have to please other people or achieve certain things to deserve happiness. You are inherently worthy of your joy. Okay, so I'm gonna leave these here and I might refer back to them throughout the reading, but let's get into the rest of your oracle cards. So there are 2 cards from each deck that I'm using today. One will be for the cycle that is coming to an end, and one will be for the cycle that is beginning. So for your first deck, for the cycle that's coming to an end, we have the 6th house with routine. And for the cycle that is beginning, we have the moon with soul. So what it looks like to me is that you guys are coming out of a cycle where you have either been adhering to quite a strict routine, or you have really felt the pressure to do that. You felt like you have to do that. And you're moving more into an energy where you're going to be making decisions in your day-to-day life based on what feels right or what you feel like doing in that moment. So there's going to be more flexibility and more fluidity in your lifestyle. This almost seems like you guys awakening to your divine feminine energy. And that might be the reason that this new cycle is starting, is because you're starting to embrace your divine femininity, which is all about openness, flexibility, adaptability, intuition, feeling, sensitivity, looking within, honoring what's within. Rather than creating a structure and then forcing yourself into that box. So if I can just I'll give examples of things that are a little bit on a smaller scale first. But for example, putting pressure on yourself that I'm gonna go to bed at this time and wake up at this time because that's what responsible adults do, and that's what I'm gonna do to be productive and healthy, rather than going to sleep when you feel tired. Or if there's something you're doing and you're really enjoying yourself, maybe I'll stay up a little bit later, or maybe I'll sleep more instead of doing this part of my morning routine because I'm a little bit tired. Allowing room for, I think leeway is the right word, or allowing room for things to change and not feeling like a failure when you do that. Or like, I'm going to eat a little bit more today because I'm hungry. Or allowing yourself to check in and see how you're feeling about your pre-established routine and saying it's okay to break it if I feel like doing that in the moment. And I don't want to knock routine. I think it can be very healthy to have a routine. But when it's too rigid, or when it's giving you more pressure and stress than actually helping you, I think that's when we need to take a moment and step back from it. And I think that in your current cycle, or in your previous cycle that is ending, this routine existed more to knock you down and pressure you rather than to make you feel good. So I'm not saying routine is bad. It's good to have a routine, but it should be a routine that can move and that can bend and change and be flexible depending on you and your feeling, because the whole point of anything is so that you feel good. And if you don't feel good when you're doing it, then what's the point? So These smaller scale things, it could be like things like your eating and your sleeping or your physical activity, even your spiritual practices. Like if you're putting pressure on yourself that you have to meditate every day, or you have to script every day. Yes, it's good to get in the habit, but if you don't feel like doing it, you shouldn't have to force yourself to do it so that you can feel like you have done a good job or you can feel accomplished. Just giving yourself a little bit more slack or a little bit more room to breathe, I see, is like a main feature of your new cycle. Now I want to talk about it on a bigger scale. So this idea of going by the book or of following the rules and following the structure. Maybe some of you guys have made some bigger life decisions based on what is by the book or what is right. For example, going to university because that's what everybody else does, or deciding against the major that you want because it's not going to get you a real job, and going for something that is more viable in the job market, or feeling pressure to be in a relationship or to get married because that's what everybody else is doing. Really like sticking to the structure that has been defined by society. That could be another way of looking at this card. And when you move into the moon, you're breaking free from that and you're doing what feels right for you. I just had this image of you guys. It's like you're going from solid to liquid. So you can move more freely and you can bend and you can stretch and you can change. You're becoming more open and free and more adaptable. Some of you guys in this new cycle, you may really lean into your spirituality or into your creative or artistic inspirations. I can see some of you guys maybe breaking free from your conventional job and doing something like spiritual or artistic, or doing something that not a lot of other people are doing. But you're going to start to live more from your heart and soul and more from your divine feminine energy. This is what it feels like so far. So moving on to the next deck. For your old cycle, we have good luck. And for your new cycle, we have boundaries. So the boundaries one makes a lot of sense to me. And I really like that this person looks like they're very in tune with and embracing their spirituality. I do like that we have a feminine figure here as well to represent your divine feminine energy. And it's almost as if this person is saying, I'm not going to let my routine control me. I control my routine. And I'm not going to put standards on myself that don't feel good. I'm not going to put expectations on myself that don't feel good. So this is like your circle of fire where you feel good and you have your peace of mind, and you're not going to let anything in it that compromises that. And this could be standards and expectations that you put on yourself, or it could be other people's opinions as well, or societal norms. You're saying like, I'm not going to let them in my circle. I'm not going to let them affect me or bring me down anymore, because I need to have ownership of my life and what I do. I feel like these are the healthy boundaries that you guys are establishing in the new cycle. Now this good luck over here, when we're talking about a cycle that is ending, it could be, I don't want to scare you guys that something really bad is going to happen, but it could be that you start to come up to like disappointments or failures or things going wrong in your life. And I think what might trigger this movement into, this is like your spiritual revolution. I think what could trigger you guys moving into this cycle is that you realize, I could do everything by the book. I could do everything right. And some shit could still hit the fan. You know? Like, there's still going to be unpredictable stuff happening to me. And I cannot prevent failures from happening. And I cannot prevent disappointments from happening if I stick to the rule book. So what is the point? I hope that makes sense. It's like, if bad stuff can happen to me anyway, I might as well go out on a limb and try doing something I love. Like, I would rather try and fail at something I love than fail at something that I didn't even like in the first place, because it's like, what's the point? I really hope that I'm articulating myself well, but it's like, if you can do everything right and still mess things up, you might as well live a life that you like. So I think that might be one of the realizations that comes to you guys when you make this transition, and it could be a result of, you know, some plans falling through or something going wrong in your life, and you're like, why am I even bothering to do this stuff then that I don't like doing? And then there's another interpretation that I can think of with this good luck card, but there could be something about guilt when you remove yourself from your current lifestyle and start living a new life. The analogy that is coming to my mind is if there's like a band or, you know, a group, and there's one member who wants to go solo because that's really what their soul is calling them to do. They want to go solo, but there's guilt there because they do know how lucky they are to have this group that has supported them and that has been friends to them and that has helped them get to where they are today and have the level of, you know, success and recognition that they do have. And they wouldn't want the group to feel like they're ungrateful for, you know, removing themselves and going solo. And I know you could say the same thing for like a company or a family. You know, I don't want my leaving this behind to come off as I'm not grateful or I don't recognize how lucky I was to have this. But at the same time, I can't hold on to it for just that reason, and I need to do what is good for me. I need to establish my healthy boundaries here. So I think this is what the good luck is trying to say. I don't want you guys to think like your cycle of good luck is ending and you're not going to have good luck in this cycle. I think it's more those other interpretations. So moving on now to our third oracle deck. For your old cycle, we have, this is like putting in the time and effort. Aw, and for your new cycle, we have true love. So, wow. This means in your old cycle, what you were doing felt like work. Your life felt like work. And in your new cycle, your life feels like love. Like you're doing what you love, so it doesn't feel like a hassle. It doesn't feel like a stress. It doesn't mean that you're not working and that you're not putting in effort. It means that it's truly enjoyable, so it's not something that you dread. It's not something that is a drag. And I definitely feel that this will apply to your work, like what you're doing in the world, but it could also apply to your personal relationships. In this old cycle, you guys may have, or you may have had, relationships that felt like work. Like you always had to be pleasing these people. You always had to be, I think appeasing them is the right word, like making sure that they don't go off and get upset at you. Or you have to always be making them proud and meeting their expectations, or maybe you've been with people who are really unpredictable or volatile, so you have to kind of walk on eggshells. Relationships that were hard, relationships that felt like work. Whereas in this new cycle, you're surrounded by people who truly love and accept you, and you can just stop and breathe when you're around them. You can just be, you can just exist, and that is enough. These people see that you're inherently worthy of love. And again, it's not that you are not putting in effort into the relationship, but the effort feels like a joy. It feels like a pleasure. Like you want to do this because you know that beautiful energy is going to be reciprocated right back to you. And it's not like I'm putting in effort just to please this person, or I'm putting in effort just so this person doesn't get upset with me. It's I'm putting in effort because I love you and I want to pour my affection into you and I want to receive your affection back. So I do see that there could be some toxic relationships that are being let go of as this cycle closes off, to make room for people who truly love you and who honor who honor your soul and who honor the whims of your heart. They're not trying to fit you into a box. They're not trying to put you to any standard. They just want to be. They just want to be with you, and that is true love. And these will be people who genuinely respect your boundaries, which might come as a shock at first. Like, you have to say no to this person, and you're working up the courage, you're bracing yourself for the reaction. You say no to them, and their response is like, okay, that's fine, I accept that. Whether it's a friend, a love interest, even like a boss or somebody at work, it's like, wow, they actually respected what I said that easily, and I don't feel anxious. Wow. It will be a really nice change for you guys. And now for the final oracle deck that we have for you today, we have childhood for your old cycle, and we have anxiety for your new cycle. So it does look like there will be a little bit of anxiety at the beginning as you transition into this new cycle. Anxiety when you start to live the way you want to, anxiety when you start to enforce your boundaries. I think this is very normal, and actually the fact that this card came out, I think, is pretty realistic, because it's always scary when you make changes and you start implementing something new into your relationships. I want to talk about this childhood card though, and the fact that we've seen throughout this reading, it seems like you guys have really tried to, keep structure and routine in your life, to do all the right things, to go by the book, so to speak. And it seems like you've been concerned with meeting people's expectations, or pleasing people, or making people proud, or getting some kind of validation from people. And with this childhood here, this may be hinting at where that has come from. Perhaps in your earlier life, there were adults who were conditional in the way that they loved you. So it was like, if you performed well, or if you made them happy, if you did what they wanted you to do, then they would show you love. When you didn't do what they wanted you to do, then they wouldn't show you love. They would withdraw it, or they would withhold it from you. And so you learned just being myself is not enough to receive love, and just existing and being as I want to be and doing as I want to do is not enough. If I want to receive love from somebody, I have to meet their conditions of what they want me to be. And this could be something that has sort of unconsciously ingrained itself in your mind, so that you're like living to, well, you're not living to please others, but it could feel like that at times. And so when you break free from these handcuffs and you start to assert, and I was gonna say like radically assert, I love myself, I'm worthy of love, and I'm going to live the life that I want to live. And I really don't care. I really don't care if that makes you happy or not. If your love is conditional, I don't want it, because I know that there are people out there who will love me unconditionally. Because you know what? I do. I love myself unconditionally. And that's how you will attract this unconditional love into your life. I can feel myself starting to space out. So there may be a spirit guide or an angel who has been working on this with you very strongly. When a guide comes out, I tend to space out for a moment. Some of you guys may have been hiding the spiritual side of you from some people, or hiding the more like creative side of you from some people. You may even be hiding things about your identity, your orientation, your expression, your beliefs from certain toxic people in your life. And when this cycle ends, you will start to proudly and unapologetically be who you are. And those who would judge you, they're not allowed to come in anymore and affect you and your well-being, because you saw through them already. You already learned that love is not conditional, so they can't fool you with their love anymore. Now you understand what real love is, and you understand that you're worthy of it and that it is within yourself and that it's out there in the world for you. So you won't fall for that kind of toxic dynamic anymore. Okay, so this concludes the oracle card section of this reading. So let's move on to the tarot section. And in this part of the reading, there are 4 things that I want to look at. I've been trying to take one card for each, but sometimes spirit pops out too. So I'll leave that open to spirit. But I want to see how this cycle changing is going to come about. So maybe we'll get a little bit more insight into, you know, what this thing could be that goes wrong, that makes you realize like there's no point of trying to maintain this structure that I don't like. And then I want to see what blessing is coming to you in this new cycle. And then I want to see how you will grow and transform. And finally, I want to see if we can get a time frame for when this cycle might be shifting. So first, let's see how this cycle shifting is going to come about. Ooh, yeah, so we have 2 coming out. There's the 4 of Cups. 4 of Cups and the 4 of Pentacles. We have 2 number 4s here. So yes, I do believe that it was an angel that was coming through earlier, who has been working with you closely and who is going to help you through this transition. The 4 of Cups has to do with boredom and dissatisfaction, but I've also seen it to mean just like you have a lot of free time. So there might, and actually a lot of free time could make you bored now that I think about it. But there might be a period coming up for you guys where you are kind of stuck where you are. It could be due to some sort of lockdown, or it could be due to like a holiday at school or some time off work. There's some reason that you will be by yourself and not really able to go out and do things in the way that you normally do. And this will make you feel bored, if I'm being honest, but it will also give you a lot of time to think and give you time to clear your mind. And I feel like during this time, you will actually become acquainted with this angel who has been trying to get your attention, but hasn't really found an opportunity to introduce themselves to you. And when you have this moment of calmness and stillness and free time, and yes, maybe boredom, I think this is when the angel is going to introduce themselves to you. A little warning with the 4 of Pentacles. In the traditional imagery of this card, as you guys might know, there's somebody like clutching onto his coins, holding onto his coins. So there could be some reason that you guys are not working or you're not able to work during this time, whether you are looking for work and you can't find it, or maybe you are sick or something like that. This is why you have this period of open and free time. But I feel like for some of you, it might affect your finances. So it's just a warning. Something to be careful of is to hold on to and save your money during this time. Even save your money right now, because this might come up in the future and you want to have some set aside. I'm sorry, I know that could be a bit of a scary or unpleasant message, but I have to read the cards as I see them. I know that everything is going to be fine for you guys in the end, because you are breaking free from a cycle that wasn't fulfilling you, and you're moving into a complete state of love, and ecstasy is just the word that came to my mind, because you feel so liberated in this new chapter. So anything that's falling away here is definitely for the best. I know that you have an angel protecting you, and that everything is going to be fine. But through making your acquaintance with this angel, I think this is how you're going to start. And it may actually be a feminine presenting angel who's going to help you get into this divine feminine energy and to start living more from your heart and your intuition. And everything will follow from there. And your next cards, which fell on the floor, and we got 2 again, and these will represent the blessing that is coming to you in this new cycle. We have the 10 of Swords and Justice. I'm seeing new relationships here. Justice is Libra energy. It's also associated with the 7th house of relationships, love, and partnerships. For those of you who are single, you may be attracting a new soulmate into your life, a new romantic soulmate. But I also see you guys surrounded by new friends. I think this is definitely several new people who are coming into your life. We're going from dynamics that have hurt you to dynamics that are fair, peaceful, and balanced. So you're going to have beautiful, fair energy exchanges in your life. I also want to tell you guys that anybody who has hurt you in the past is going to have karma coming to them, especially people who have backstabbed you or who have broken your heart. They are getting their karma. Next, I want to see how you guys are going to grow and transform during this cycle. How are you going to grow and transform? There's 5 of Pentacles. So there's 2 things that I'm thinking with this card. One of them is that you guys will feel okay with being on your own. And I'm being reminded of this card. You are enough. You always have been. You always will be. Release attachment to relationships and achievements to feel worthy. This is a card about lack or about being left without something. But because this is talking about your blessing, I feel like you guys are coming to a point where you realize that you don't need any specific things or any specific people or situations externally to make you happy, and you can find it all within, to the point where, like, if we were to be hypothetical and very extreme, if you ended up with nothing and no one, you would still have yourself and you would still be happy with that. In this new cycle, you'll feel very confident to say that. Like, all I need to be happy is me and my soul and my connection to spirit. That's enough for me. All I need is to just be. And I feel like you guys will be in a place where you're not putting your value on external things, like your material possessions or what you have achieved or who you know. When the 5 of Pentacles comes out in a positive context in a reading, I think of it as like transcending the material. So you're finding happiness in something deeper than that. And in that, you don't put pressure on yourself. Like, I need to have more things. I need to have a higher position. I need to have more success. I need to hit higher targets and higher numbers, because just being is enough. So finally, let's see if Spirit is going to give us a time frame for this cycle shift. For pile 1, she did not give us a time frame, but maybe for this one she will. Ooh, there is the King of Swords. This can represent the winter season wherever you guys are in the world, when winter is coming for you. It can also represent an air season. So if winter is like really, really far away from you guys and that doesn't resonate with you, this can also indicate Gemini season, Libra season, or Aquarius season. So if one of those seasons is coming up for you and that feels more right to you, then you can claim that as your time frame. And when it comes to swords is a pretty fast moving energy. So I think it would be like whichever one is coming up first, if that makes sense. So like when it comes to the air seasons, whichever one is happening next. So when this reading is uploaded, it would be Libra season that is coming up next. So that would be the one, as opposed to, you know, the following season, you know, because swords are fast. Anyway, so those are all the messages that I have for you guys. I'm gonna end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best in this transition. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a-cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi number threes, so if you guys chose the blue agate and this image of people swinging and frolicking in the ocean, this is going to be your reading all about what cycle in your life is coming to an end and what cycle is about to begin for you. So I want to start off this reading by shuffling and taking a few cards from the Fallback Oracle deck so that we can get some loving and encouraging messages from your higher self as you go through this transformation journey. And I also want to take this moment to give you guys a friendly reminder that the best way to manifest whatever it is that you want is to be in a complete state of surrender. And that is what the message of fallback is all about. This means being okay with not knowing. This means not obsessing and trying to control every little part of your journey, taking action when it feels good to do so, and leaving the rest up to the universe because you trust and you know that the universe knows best. So let's shuffle this deck now and see what your higher self wants you to remember as you go through this journey of changing cycles. What does your higher self want you to know as you close off this old cycle and begin a new one? What would your higher self like to tell you? Oh, wow. So we got 3 cards and they're all the same image that you guys chose. This person swinging with the people below in the ocean. When I look at this image, it makes me think of playfulness. So that might be a message from your higher self, is to be more playful, not take things so seriously, and just enjoy life. There's a message coming through like, you're only going to be exactly where you are and exactly who you are in this moment right now. Like, you will never live exactly right here, right now again. So cherish every moment and have fun with it. Also, the fact that each card came out as the same image, this could be a message for you guys that you are currently in alignment with your dreams and in alignment with what it is that you are trying to manifest. Like, you're very sure about what you want and all of your energy is pointing in that direction. I feel like this is a really good sign. It's like when you do a slot machine and it's like 3 of the same number. Maybe it's not exactly like that, but I think that they're all aligned is a very good sign. So the messages for you are: appreciate all you have, let go of how you think your life should be, and celebrate all that it is. Needing nothing attracts everything. Connect with others. Host a movie night or have a slumber party. Surround yourself with loving energy. And ask and receive. You get what you have the courage to ask for. Ask for help or support. There's a lot of messages within these cards of connection and gratitude. So I'm going to make a note of that. And I'm also going to leave these cards here because I might refer back to them throughout the reading. But those are the messages from your higher self. So now let's get into the rest of your oracle cards. So I've taken 2 cards from each of the decks that I'm going to be using. There will be 1 card for the cycle that is ending and 1 card for the cycle that is beginning. So your first cards are Solar Eclipse with Revolution. We also have the number 44. This could be a number that is significant to you guys. And it's funny because there's more alignment. We had 3 of the same image and now we have 44. And the card for your new cycle is the Grand Cross with Provoker. And I'm noticing that there's the number 47, which adds up to 11. So far there is alignment in every single card that has come up 44 and 11 could be significant numbers, and their spirit goes again putting repeating 4s and repeating 1s together. I don't know why, but I always see these numbers together, and I have seen a few comments from you guys that you see these numbers together as well. So when it comes to the cycle that is ending, when I look at this solar eclipse and revolution card, it looks like you guys are having a breakthrough in your spiritual awakening. It's interesting that you have the number 44 here, because this number came out for pile 2 as well. And we saw them in this period of their life where things had kind of slowed down. Things were slower or even stagnant. And it was as if an angel appeared and was like, okay, we're going to use this time to heal some stuff. We're going to use this time to go within. And so I feel like that may very well be the cycle that you guys have just been in, is one of soul searching, one of going within, one of healing. Solar eclipses happen during the new moon, so this is a card that has a lot of transformative energy and a lot of potential. Maybe you guys have been through a cycle of reinventing yourself. I'm also thinking with this darkness that is obscuring the sun, maybe you guys have gone through a bit of a dark night of the soul. I don't know why that was hard for me to say. A dark night of the soul, or even something of an existential crisis, because the sun represents our ego, our identity, our vitality, our life force. Like, it represents the version of us that we show to the world. So when this is being covered or obscured, you might have gone through a period where you were questioning who you are, or questioning like the persona that you put out into the world, and if it was really in alignment with what was within you. I'm really seeing this as a period of like introspection and healing that you guys have gone through. The sun also represents, well, I was going to say the sun represents children. It's because Leo is ruled by the sun, it's associated with the 5th house, and that's how I got to children. So you could have been healing your inner child as well, or realizing that many of your insecurities or many of your unhealed wounds stemmed from your childhood. And I feel like as this cycle is closing, so as you've healed, as you've gotten to know yourself, you're coming out more confident and more passionate. And this is where we get to the new cycle, which is represented by the Grand Cross and the Provoker. The Grand Cross is an aspect in astrology that is considered to be fated, and it's tough. It's a tough aspect, but it allows for a lot of growth. I think during your period of awakening, when you looked within yourself, you may have realized that there were a lot of aspects of your personality, or there were a lot of beliefs that you held, or even like desires that you had, that seemed to contradict each other. And that may have been a source for a lot of stress for you. For example, I can think of one in myself off the top of my head. I want attention, but I hate asserting that I want attention, if that makes sense. So I'm hiding away and I'm staying to myself, and at the same time craving attention. So it's like, do I want it or not? That's sun in the 12th house for you. But I feel like as you go through this cycle, you may realize, wow, there's a lot of things I want that contradict themselves, or beliefs I hold that contradict themselves. And when we have this Grand Cross, all of these placements that are creating right angles with each other, they're causing tension, they're causing conflict or a contradiction. And so when you break through into this new cycle, this is you owning your multifacetedness and saying, I can have this duality that exists within me. I'm allowed to change my mind. I'm allowed to contradict myself. I don't have to be this one person all the time. I can be fluid. I can be free. And I'm okay if my rational brain cannot make sense of every single one of my thoughts and desires. I'm allowed to let myself be, and I don't have to apologize for that. So you're owning each and every part of yourself, the light and the dark, the pretty and the ugly, the rational and the irrational. And you're going to overcome this adversity. As you embrace every part of yourself, you're going to grow and you're going to shine. So I see like radical self-acceptance here. And with this word of provoker, it's like you're ready to go into the world and fuck shit up, basically. Like, you've been in your shell, you've been doing your inner work, you've maybe been isolating, and healing journeys are not always fun. Maybe you guys have done a lot of shadow work that's been very uncomfortable, but you're through it now. You've seen the light at the end of the tunnel. You know who you are and what you're about, and you're done apologizing for who you are, and you're done judging and looking down on who you are. And you're coming out into the world now, and you're going to shine. You're going to ruffle some feathers. You're coming out in the world to do the thing. So a lot of you are entering this new cycle where you're going to be breaking out and making a lot of your dreams come true. I'm thinking, like, as this eclipse passes and we can see the bright shining sun again, you guys are going to be in the spotlight. You're going to be very confident and very passionate about what you're doing. I think a lot of you guys are going to start gaining a platform or a following or a reputation of sorts. Like, you're gonna be seen, you're gonna be heard, you're gonna be making waves. I think you guys know what I mean. So this is the cycle that you guys are coming into. So let's take your next two cards from the next oracle deck. Yeah, look, so for the cycle that is ending, we have healing. So it definitely looks like you guys have been through your dark night of the soul. You've been through your shadow work. You've been through your healing journey. I'm looking at this person has a crown of white flowers. There could be an emphasis on your crown chakra coming through here, that you guys have activated your connection with the divine. But I'm also thinking of white flowers as a symbol of purity and innocence. And so maybe a very important part of you guys closing off this cycle was forgiving yourself and recognizing that you are still pure. Like, you are still this good, innocent baby soul. And not judging yourself for who you've been in the past, or mistakes you've made in the past, or even not judging yourself for being hard on yourself in the past, recognizing that it's all okay, it's all a learning process. And as you can forgive yourself, this is how you can move into the next cycle. Telling yourself it's okay, you are who you are, and it's okay, you're beautiful. That's going to help you to close off this chapter. And then your card for the new cycle is closure. This is very, you guys, your cards are very literal, I feel. In your last cycle, we're healing, and now we have closure on that chapter. It doesn't mean that you guys are never going to do healing work or shadow work ever again, but I definitely feel that this cycle of it is over. This wave of it is over. Now it's time for you guys to have your awakening. It's time for you to come through that light at the end of the tunnel, and it's time for you guys to enjoy life. There will be time to heal later in the future, but right now, this is all about you guys enjoying yourself, going out there and making your dreams come true. For your third oracle deck, we have waiting time and friends. Interesting. So I'm gonna start with waiting time. Maybe you guys have felt that this cycle has dragged on for a very long time. Like your cycle of healing, your cycle of energetically purging, your cycle of forgiving yourself, your cycle of doing inner work. Maybe some of you guys have even started to feel frustrated, like when is the fun part coming? When do I get to enjoy myself? I sometimes see comments like that because, of course, we are talking a lot in readings about you need to focus on healing, you need to focus on self-love. And sometimes, reasonably so, we're questioning, like, how long is this going to be? And I think that's why this waiting time card is coming out. Maybe you guys have really been hoping for this cycle to end for quite some time. And I just love this little cat hiding under the table in this card. I feel like I always mention him. And the fact that he's wearing like a wizard hat, I just think is so cute. It's like he's hiding under the table waiting to surprise them. And it makes me think that there's some sort of divine timing at play when it comes to this new cycle beginning. It may not be necessarily something that you can predict or something that you can force to begin. I mean, like force the cycle to begin. because the divine definitely has a very big and elaborate plan for you guys that will, as I mentioned before, lead to the achievement of all of your heart's wildest dreams. Moving on to this friends card, I'm looking at, I don't exactly know what it is that this little girl is holding. It could be wands because there are stars or what looks like stars at the end of them. And this would remind me of the Three of Wands in tarot. The Three of Wands has to do with expanding, and also you've been waiting and now your rewards are coming in. Now your opportunities are coming in. So there's definitely going to be travel opportunities in this new cycle, career opportunities, creative opportunities, as well as opportunities for collaboration, because we have this message of friends here. But the Three of Wands, which I'm pulling from here, it definitely makes me think of like exploring and going on a trip and coming out of your shell and expanding your horizons. And this could also be, it kind of looks to me like she's picking up something from the ground. So it could be like she's harvesting wheat. I know it sounds crazy, but there is a harvesting card in this deck and it kind of looks similar the way she's picking up. And this could be wheat, you know. But yes, this could be talking about you guys reaping your rewards, reaping the fruits of your labor. Like the inner work that you've done here is really, really paying off now. You're ready to move forward with confidence and with certainty and with a clear, I was going to say a clear conscience, you know, like with compassion for your past self and with no regrets, I think is what I wanted to say there. Also with the message of friends, this could be that this new cycle is kicking off with an invitation or an offer from a friend. One of the first things that's coming to my mind is like maybe a friend is inviting you to travel, you're going on a trip with a friend, or you're going to visit a friend who lives somewhere else. And then it's like a total, yeah, I think you guys deserve a change of scenery. After this period where you've been healing and waiting and going within, you deserve a change of scenery now. So if that's something that you guys want, I certainly hope that that is the case for you, that you will get to go see somebody that you care about and be in a different place and just get some fresh air, honestly. Or it could be that your friend is inviting you to an event where you'll get to mingle and meet new people. Or a friend could be helping you network. And that is how this new chapter of achieving your dreams is going to start off. So now your two final oracle cards. For your old cycle, we have support. And for your new cycle, we have abundance. And it's interesting that there are cups on both of them. Oh, there's actually 7 cups on both of them. Interesting. But anyway, I think the difference between these is that here, it's like you have to wait for the snake to pour the cup for you, and you have to wait for it to come down. It's like you have to wait for someone else to support you before you can get what it is that you want. Whereas here, it looks like the abundance is coming from you. It's flowing from you. So perhaps many of you guys will be starting your own business, starting your own venture, your own creative project, as opposed to relying on somebody else to support you. That could be the message here. I think they're linked in some way like that because of the cups. And I also think it's interesting that it's a snake that is serving you, because, you know, the symbolism of snakes is that they are not very reliable. So maybe in the past, like the hand that fed you, so to speak, the person or organization who was supporting you, employing you, maybe they weren't super reliable, or they didn't really have your best interest at heart. Maybe it was like a situation of a corporation that doesn't really, you know, protect their employees or care about them as individuals, or you didn't really feel genuinely supported by where you were working. I'm also looking at the infinity symbol, which is maybe like a dead-end working environment, or it's like the same thing over and over again. You may have been in something that kind of felt like a rat race. And here you're taking it upon yourself to create this abundance. And you get to decide how far up you climb. You get to decide how much money you make. You get to decide how much you work, and you get to take care of yourself rather than having to rely on this hand that is feeding you, if that makes sense. I'm also looking at the rain cloud. The way, okay, how can I describe this? Rain is like a natural and abundant resource. It's something that comes freely to us. And the way I'm seeing it here is like, abundance should come freely to you, and it should be unlimited. You should have as much as you want. Almost as if abundance is a natural resource. But in your old cycle, you have to wait until this snake decides that you can have it, and there's like a bunch of different steps for you to get to it. Why is it so hard for me to get this when it naturally rains from the sky? That might be how you guys have felt about abundance or money. So in this new cycle, I see you guys taking it into your own hands and really living in that truth that abundance is everywhere around me and I can have access to it as much as I want and whenever I want and wherever I want. That's the kind of life that you guys are living in this new cycle. So this is amazing energy so far. That concludes the oracle section of this reading. So now we're going to move on to the tarot section. And in this part of the reading, there are 4 things that I want to look at. I've been thinking to take 1 card for each part, but sometimes 2 fall out, so I'm just leaving it open to spirit. But I want to see how this cycle is going to come about. We've gotten a little hint of it here with the Friends card, I think, but maybe we can get more detail. I also want to see more about what blessings are coming to you in this new cycle. I want to see how you will grow and transform. And then finally, I want to see if Spirit will give us a time frame. I will admit she's been a little bit vague with the time frames in the previous readings, but we'll see what she can do for us today. So the first card that I want to take is, oh my gosh, more about how this new cycle might be coming about for you guys. And we have the Ace of Swords. Ooh, and wasn't there a card? Yep, look. Ask and receive. You get what you have the courage to ask for help or support. The Ace of Swords is about being very direct and very clear. Swords is about communication, communicating our thoughts, communicating our ideas, communicating what we want. And it does represent a new beginning, but it can indicate one that is a little bit challenging. So I often think with this card, it's like, you're saying something that's kind of hard to say. You might have to like ask a friend for help in some way or ask an acquaintance for help in some way in order to start this new cycle. I'm just going to give an example of what I mean. It doesn't necessarily mean that this will be your situation, but let's say you are a YouTuber or you're an aspiring YouTuber and you have, well, actually, it doesn't even have to be a friend or an acquaintance now that I think about it. It could just be a YouTuber that you look up to. But maybe you have this new content or this new product that you're promoting, and you have to just send a message to that person and say, hey, I'm a small YouTuber. Can you help me? Can you promote my business? And that can be I guess it can be uncomfortable for some people to do that, because you have to be very confident about what you're doing. And then of course you don't want that person to feel like, you're taking advantage of them or anything like that. Or like asking your friend to introduce you to their boss or to hook you up with this person who can help you. Things like that. Or if you're a musician, like hitting up the radio stations and saying, hey, can you play my stuff? Those kind of, very direct, like, this is what I want, this is my request, I need help, I need support. That can be uncomfortable or awkward or make you very nervous. This is what the Ace of Swords is. It's like, you just gotta do it. You just gotta go for it. Ace of Swords pierces through all of the fears and the confusion, and it's like, just do it. yeah, so this will, I think, require you guys reaching out to somebody to help you. I'm not sure if it's your friend or if it's like someone you've never spoken to before. That would admittedly be more difficult. The divine is saying they'll set up the opportunity for you, but they can't ask for help for you. Because I think this is an important lesson for you, that you become comfortable with asking for the things that you want, that you have the power to go out there and ask for it. You have the power to go out there and make it happen, and that you don't have to take this passive role. And just to not be afraid of the result. Like, the worst that could happen is somebody says no, and then you say understandable, have a good day, and that's the end of it, right? It doesn't have to be this scary thing, but the divine wants to set up this opportunity to empower you. They'll create the opportunity, but they won't do the asking or do the work for you. Like, I feel it won't just be handed to you. You have to be kind of brave and ask the person, or send in your work, send that application, write that letter, whatever it is. That will take your courage. I will say though, with the Ace of Swords, you will probably get a quick response. A quick and enthusiastic response. So the next card that we want to look at is what blessings will come from this new cycle. Ooh, Six of Wands. Yeah, a lot of you guys are getting a platform. A lot of you guys are blowing up, becoming well known. The Six of Wands is about victory, admiration, confidence. It can be about things like fame and popularity. It shows you becoming a leader. A lot of you guys are going to become well known for what you're doing. Or at the very least, you will have a very wide circle of supporters. So even if you're not like reaching the level of fame or being a super renowned person, I do feel that you would be quite well known in your community, and that you would have a lot of people admiring what you do. There's something as well with the different colored lollipops. There's something about what you're doing appealing to many different people. Even if you're doing something that's kind of niche or different, I feel like you'll break into a larger audience. You might even be the person to introduce your niche to a larger audience. Like if you do a more like experimental or obscure genre of music, maybe your song gets on the radio, and it's not something that a lot of people have been exposed to before, but you're helping to bring it to the general public. Of course, you don't have to be a musician, but I hope you know what I mean by that. Something that was once kind of unusual or niche, I think you will help to expand it. Next, we're going to see how you are going to grow and transform as a result of this new cycle. How are you going to grow and transform? Spirit's taking a while. Group 3 has already done a lot of growth. Do we really... Are we really gonna do more? But it will be much easier in this new cycle. Aw. There's the Knight of Cups. I feel like this is you guys, how you guys are transforming. I'm looking at how the Knight of Cups looks very happy and peaceful in this card. Like, he almost reminds me of that. Do you guys know that emoji where, I'm gonna put it on the screen. It reminds me of this emoji. Just completely peaceful, just completely content, going with the flow. Oh yeah, that might be the biggest transformation for you guys, is learning to go with the flow and learning to trust your gut. Maybe in the past, your soul has called you to do certain things or take certain actions, but then you kind of talk yourself out of it from a place of fear. You might tell yourself, no, it's just in my head, I'm just imagining things. I'm just being crazy, and kind of talk yourself down from taking the necessary action for receiving your blessings. But with the Knight of Cups, I feel like you guys are starting to honor that inner voice that is within you, starting to honor your intuition and actually take action from it. Because of course, when it comes to knights, they're moving forward, like they're armored up, they're saddled up, they're on their horse, and they're charging forward. So not only are you in tune with your intuition and what your soul is telling you, but you're honoring that by then going out into the world and taking the necessary action to make it happen. In general, I'm also feeling that you guys will be more, I already said calm and peaceful, but also more soft, more gentle, more compassionate for yourself and for others. Really just grateful to be living. I feel like your heart is going to be a lot more simple. You'll find a lot more gratitude in the smaller things and find a lot more happiness just going one step at a time and taking life one day at a time without the fear of like, what's going to happen in the future, and am I going to have enough, and what is this person thinking of me? You just let all of that fly out the window and you remain peaceful. All right, so let's take one more card for you guys, and this is going to hopefully show us a time frame for when this new cycle is beginning. And we have two cards. We have the Nine of Wands and the the Wheel of Fortune, which is the number 10. Okay, so Miss Spirit is being quite vague with all of the piles, because the Wheel of Fortune would definitely indicate divine timing. It does match with what we saw here with the waiting time, how the cat is kind of hiding under there waiting to surprise you. This opportunity will probably appear to you in a way that is unpredictable, meaning that you didn't plan for it. You just have to be ready. You just have to be ready so that when it comes, you're ready to make your move on it. You're ready to go forward. But with the Nine of Wands, Spirit is hinting that it is soon, because the Nine of Wands has this feeling of you're almost there. The 9 would indicate near completion. So like you're almost at the 10, because this is when the magic is happening. This is the moment you've been waiting for. So the Nine of Wands means you're almost there. The Nine of Wands does have a message within it too of like, I know you've been fighting. I know you've been waiting. I know it's tough, but just hang in there because we're almost there. You just have a little bit more to go. So it's kind of like Spirit is saying, I can't say exactly when because it's divine timing, but rest assured that it is soon. Like, I don't think you guys are going to be waiting like a year for this or anything crazy like that. That's just my guess, but that will be up to Spirit. So those are all the messages that I have for you today, so I'm going to end the reading there. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi number 4s, so if you chose the Cherry Blossom Agate and this heart image, this is going to be your reading all about what cycle in your life is coming to an end and what new cycle is about to begin. So I want to start off the reading by shuffling and taking a few cards from the Fallback Oracle deck. And with this part of the reading, we're going to get some loving and encouraging messages from your higher self as you go through this transition. And I also want to take this moment to give you guys a friendly reminder that the best way to manifest whatever it is that you want is to be in a complete state of surrender. And this is what the fallback message is all about. This means being okay with not knowing, with not trying to obsess and control every single little part of your journey, taking action when it feels good to do so, and leaving the rest up to the universe because you trust it and you know that it has your back. So I just wanted to leave you guys with that little message, and now let's shuffle this deck and see what your higher self would like you to remember as you go through this changing of cycles. What would your higher self like you to know as this cycle comes to an end and a new one is beginning? 1, 2, and we'll get one more. Okay. So the first message from your higher self is get out of your own way. You are the reason, the cause, and the solution. Take back your power by remembering who you really are. Lead by example. Don't react to how others have treated you. Choose who you want to be, and your world will transform. So there's a lot of self-empowering messages so far. And maybe it's just a story you're telling yourself. Notice what you say to yourself and others. You have the power to change the story. Wow, your higher self is really coming through to remind you guys of how much power you have. The power you have in the words you choose to speak, in the thoughts you hold, in the beliefs you hold, in the way you narrate the events of your life, in the way you choose to look at things. You guys have a lot more power to control the narrative of your life and to control the path of your future than maybe you are realizing at this moment. So I'm going to keep these messages in mind, and I will leave them here because I might refer back to them throughout the reading. But this is really interesting that all the messages are kind of a similar nature. So let's take a look now at the rest of our oracle cards. I have 2 cards from each of the decks that I'm using today, and there will be one for the old cycle that is coming to an end and one for the new cycle that is about to begin. So first, for your old cycle, we have the 7th house with partners. And for your new cycle, wow, we have the North Node with life's purpose. So starting over here with the partners card, this is the energy of your old cycle. Honestly, there are so many ways to interpret this card because when it comes to the 7th house, this is really just about the other. It's about anybody that isn't you, any relationship that you have with somebody else. Of course, in the imagery of this card, it does look like a romantic partnership, so that may very well be the interpretation for most of you. What I can think of right off the bat is maybe some of you guys have gone through a breakup recently, or if you have been thinking of walking away from a certain relationship or connection, this could be a confirmation that that is the next step to closing off the cycle that you're currently in. This could also be, it doesn't have to be like an official committed relationship that you're walking away from, but a situationship or a friends with benefits dynamic, or just somebody that you had once longed for and had feelings for. You may be moving on and distancing yourself from that connection, or it could even be platonic connections that you are moving away from. And in fact, this could even be like a professional connection, business agreements, because the 7th house does deal with those things as well. And I can actually see how all of these could lead to a new cycle where you're focused on your life's purpose. In the example of a business relationship or like a work contract, we could be seeing here that you've worked in a job for a certain amount of time, but your life's purpose has really been calling to you, and you've come to the conclusion that you will need to break free from this contract or this previous agreement so that you can go off on your own and achieve your own dreams and discover your own life's purpose. And then even in the context of a personal relationship, like a lover or a friend or something like that, that you're walking away from. I feel like a lot of us, after we go through some sort of breakup or separation from somebody who once took up a lot of our mental energy or a lot of our time, it's like we are coming back to ourselves. We are coming back to a place where we're primarily focused on our own life and our own future. I don't know if you guys have been through this, where you've gone through a breakup and then once you go through the grieving process, you're like super motivated to work towards your goals because it's like all of my energy is back with me now, and there's this feeling of coming back and belonging to yourself again. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it right, but I can definitely see how a separation in a personal relationship could lead to like a fresh new perspective and a burst of motivation to go after your dreams. And also a more, I guess, broad or abstract interpretation of this could also be just stopping to concern yourself with others as a whole, like concerning yourself with the opinions or the standards or the expectations or the norms of others, and coming back to you. So rather than looking around at what everyone else is doing or what everyone else is saying about you, you're going to honor your own path and your own purpose. You guys could be closing off a cycle of comparison as well, where you feel like you have to measure up to what other people are doing, or you have to be in competition with other people. You're not comparing yourself to other people's paths anymore, because that's their unique path, and you love and respect your unique path inherently, not because of how it measures up to others, not because of what others think of it, but because it's yours. It's your unique divine story to live out. So I see really empowering energy here. You guys might resonate with one of those interpretations or maybe all of them. Please feel free to claim all of them. But this is such a broad card, so there's so many ways to look at it. But let's take a look now at the next deck and see if we can get more information about this transition of cycles. So for your old cycle, we have career. And for your new cycle, we have dreams. Look at this new cycle that you guys are going into. We have life, purpose, and dreams. I feel like this is a huge chapter that you guys are about to start. Oh my gosh. I'm hearing some message like it's only getting started, or you've only seen the tip of the iceberg. I feel like some of you guys might be feeling sad or feeling down as you move out of this cycle. And some of you may even be feeling like you've already experienced the most happiness or the most fulfillment that life has to offer you. It's like some of you guys, and this may just be a few of you, but you're feeling like after you remove yourself from this old cycle, that there's not going to be anything to make you as happy or to make you more happy. And spirit is chuckling like, oh, if you only knew what was up my sleeve, if you only knew what your soul had planned for you. Like, you ain't seen nothing yet. That's basically what spirit is saying. You have just scratched the surface of the joy that you can feel. And if you feel like nothing better is coming after this, you could not be more wrong. I just needed to say that. I feel like a couple of you needed to hear that. But it's interesting that we have career here when it comes to your old cycle. So maybe this is some of you guys ending a contract, ending a business agreement, or maybe some of you guys are hitting a big milestone in your career and now you're moving on to even bigger dreams. So you're graduating your current study program or going through a graduation of sorts in your current career where it's time to move up to something bigger and better. It could very well be, like we mentioned before, that you're moving away from an unfulfilling job and into something that you have been dreaming about, into your calling, into your purpose. And I feel like your focus is shifting. When you look at what you do in the world, you're not seeing it anymore as just a job. You're not just seeing it as something that you're going to make a living off of, or something that you can do well, or something that other people would respect. And you're starting to see it more as what I do in the world is my passion. What I do in the world is make my dreams into a reality. What I do in the world is share my gift and share my love with others. So you're almost coming into a more like idealistic mindset. And I'm not saying idealistic as in it's not realistic, but it's like you want to chase the highest joy possible. And you don't want to live just an ordinary life. You want to live an extraordinary life. You want to live out your dreams. So in this new cycle, you have a lot more optimism and you have a lot more hope. And I feel like you guys are really believing that anything is possible for yourself. So there must have been like something or someone or just a way of thinking that was kind of holding you back in this old cycle. And once that's removed, you guys are limitless. Like, this is a really, really exciting transition to see. You guys are really going after your dreams and finding your calling in this new cycle. Okay, so for the next oracle deck, in the old cycle we have Face Yourself, and in the new cycle, oh my gosh, we have Dreams again. So just to recap, in your new cycle we have Life, Purpose, Dreams, and Dreams. So Spirit is really coming through to confirm to you guys that your dreams are coming true. I don't know if you guys have been doubting yourself or doubting the possibility of your dreams manifesting in reality, but the fact that we have a double of the exact same word, Spirit really wants you guys to know that your dreams are coming true. And in fact, it's part of your destiny in this lifetime to live out your dreams. So the things, the places, the people, the version of you that your heart is longing for, that is literally written into your soul's script. The reason you're longing for it and the reason you want it is because it's your destiny. It's written in the stars for you. So keep dreaming big, because that's literally your soul speaking to you. That's your soul speaking your future to you. In this new cycle, or actually the way your higher self will let you know that this new cycle is beginning is you will start to have very vivid dreams. You may have dreams where an angel is directly speaking to you, or your higher self, or even an ancestor is directly speaking to you. Pay attention to the messages. I feel like you guys are going to be receiving some prophetic messages about your future in dreams, or you may start to dream about the future that is coming to you. That is how your divine team is letting you know, okay, this new cycle is officially, this old cycle is officially over and this new cycle is officially beginning. Looking at this Face Yourself, this is really interesting to me because all of these cards, all of these fallback cards that we took at the beginning of the reading were all about claiming your power back and realizing how much of an important role you have in creating the story of your life. So with this Face Yourself, this could be you. The phrase that's coming to my mind is like getting real with yourself. Maybe you guys have been through a journey of self-discovery. As a part of your spiritual journey, you've gotten to know yourself a lot better. Maybe you've become acquainted with your higher self, with your spirit guides, and you really feel like you're starting to understand yourself. And this moment of facing yourself, I think, comes from when you look at maybe what you're doing for your career, or you're looking at the partners in your life and you're thinking, man, I don't know if this is really, I don't know if we vibe on the same level. Or when I imagine the highest, best version of myself, I don't know if I can see these things and these people around me. So I have to come up with a new plan. I have to go for my dreams. This Face Yourself card, it's also reminding me of that expression, wherever you go, there you are. And the way I take that expression, I'm not sure if this is the actual meaning of it, but the way I take it is like, you cannot escape yourself. Whether you move across the world, whether you enter into a new relationship, whether you change your job, you're always going to experience some of the same struggles, because many of our struggles in life do come from our own insecurities or our own wounds or our own shortcomings that we haven't dealt with. And yes, changing our outer environment can help, but it can only help to a certain extent. We need to do the work within as well. So perhaps you guys will be ending a cycle where you've done a lot of self-discovery and a lot of inner work, and this is why you are ready to move on to this new cycle of answering your calling and pursuing and realizing all of your dreams. The fact that you guys are moving into this new cycle, it means that you have achieved they're saying a very impressive level of self-mastery and self-awareness. So I think your guides are very, very proud of you that this cycle is closing. It really feels like a graduation, or like you've hit some milestone and now you're leveling up to your dreams. And for your final oracle cards, For the old cycle, we have communication. And for the new cycle, we have release. So it does look like you guys may be walking away from some people or cutting off communication with some people. This release card, I think this is the second time I'm using this deck, and this release card reminds me of death in tarot. So things coming to an end or things being let go of. In fact, I think I have a deck where death is actually called release. And then of course there's the skull and crossbones here. So this might be a specific message for some of you, but some of you guys might still be in communication with somebody and it isn't really serving either of you. For example, like you're still talking to your ex even though you haven't been together in a long time, or you're still talking to a love interest even though they've made it clear that they don't want to take things further, but it still feels nice to talk to them or keep them around. Or you are still with a friend or with a group of friends that you're just not really vibing with, but you're staying friendly with them. It's like that kind of like the release is overdue, if I'm being blunt with it. I feel like you guys have tried to see eye to eye with these people. You've tried to understand where they're coming from, but sometimes we just don't vibe with people. Sometimes we're just not on the same wavelength, and that's okay. So I see with these cards, there's like a releasing of toxic connections. This can also be it could be you blocking people or muting people. It could be you unfollowing certain people or unsubscribing from certain people, whether you know them personally or not, but being more conscious of the communications and the messages that enter into your mind, because we can absorb so many toxic thoughts, toxic beliefs, opinions, toxic advice just from having all of these voices around us. And I feel like in this new cycle, you're being more discerning about the messages that you want to consume and the people that you want to be engaged with. And you might come to a realization as you go through this transition that a way of thinking that had been imposed on you is not the right word, but like a way of thinking that you had adopted by being around certain people or certain groups of people, you could be realizing that it was actually quite toxic and that that's not really how you feel. It's just something that you picked up from the people around you. And I feel like in this new cycle, you're purging yourself of that and you're really starting to think for yourself and you're starting to protect your energy and consume only thoughts that are benefiting you and that are making you more healthy. I'm also getting a message here for you guys, like you're done explaining yourself or justifying yourself to people. There's certain people that you're realizing you don't owe them an explanation, or you don't owe them trying to see things from their perspective and trying to reason with them because they wouldn't do the same for you. I see with this communication card, like I see the eyes meeting each other. I see the hands meeting each other. I do feel that you guys are very compassionate by nature and you do crave like harmony and peace by nature. Maybe you guys are a Libra because we have the 7th house, which is associated with Libra here. And this really reminds me of that kind of Libra energy. Like deep down, you just want everybody to get along and you want to understand people. You want to be kind to people. But sometimes you just can't see eye to eye. And there's some cases where I feel like you guys really took it upon yourself, like to defend yourself to this person and to explain yourself to this person so that they can feel okay with you or so that they can feel okay with the situation. And Spirit is saying you guys don't need to do that. There's just certain people that you don't owe that stuff to, and you will literally be wasting energy trying to reason with them and be in harmony with them, especially when they're not putting in that same effort. So a lot of your toxic energy exchanges, I think, are being purged in this old cycle. And don't worry, because in the new cycle, they will be replaced with more fair, equal, abundant, and loving energy exchanges. I am sure of that, because whenever something is removed or cleared from our life, and maybe it sounds like cliche, but I truly believe that it's because Spirit is creating space for something better to come in. So just keep that in mind. This concludes the Oracle card section of this reading. So we're going to move on to the tarot now. And there are 4 different things that I want to look at in this part of the reading. I've been trying to take 1 card per part, but sometimes 2 fall out, so I'll just leave it up to Spirit. But I want to see how this changing of cycles is going to come about for you. I want to see what blessing this new cycle will bring you. I want to see how you will be growing and transforming in this new cycle. And then finally, I want to see if Spirit will give us a time frame. I'm not very optimistic about that, because in the past 3 piles, Spirit has been a little bit vague with the time frames, but it's worth a shot. We'll see what she has for us. So I'm gonna start by taking a card to see if we can get more detail about how this cycle is going to be ending. Now, I know that you guys are going to start having really crazy dreams to let you know that this new cycle has begun. But maybe let's see what is going to happen in the 3D to trigger this transformation. How is this going to happen? Look, it's death. And I was saying this release card reminds me of the death card. So we had a couple, these cards remind me of Libra. These cards remind me of Scorpio. So that might be a confirmation for you guys if you have those signs. And I put that back in the wrong place. When it comes to major arcana, it does feel like something that could be fated and not necessarily as a result of your action. So rather than you guys like actively walking away from something in this old cycle, it could be that something is just naturally coming to an end, or that another party is distancing themselves from you. For an example, like graduating school, that's not really something that you control. It's like the natural order of things. It's the natural cycle of things. Like the school year ends at a certain time and then you're done. I hope that makes sense. It's like, it's not necessarily from your action or from your will. Or in the case of a relationship, it could be that, you know, it's the other party that distanced themselves from you. Something that feels kind of out of your control, or like a contract has finished. A working contract has finished. That's a set date. I think you guys know what I mean, but the ending of this cycle, it's like already predetermined, it looks like. Now let's see what blessing will be coming from your new cycle. What blessing will be coming from this amazing new cycle? Ooh, there's the moon. Okay, so we also have Pisces energy here now, and I really like this card. This is a card that it can have positive implications or negative implications depending on the context, but because we pulled this card for your blessings, it's literally like you're bringing your dream world down to earth. This is a card about dreams. It's making me think of like the astral realm. It's making me think of your fantasies. It's making me think of your psychic insights. What you've seen is true for yourself through your dreams, through your spiritual insights, through your intuition. It's all coming into the 3D. And there may be a point, like I'm not even trying to be dramatic, there may be a point where you're questioning if your life is really real, and you have to like pinch yourself, because all of the wildest things that you have been dreaming about are happening in your real, tangible 3D day-to-day life. Your dream world is coming down here. That's like the best way I can describe it. I feel like you guys will be a lot more creative. You might be a lot more artistically inclined in this new cycle of your life. And it's even going to feel like the life that you're living, it's like you creating a work of art. Like you are painting your life. You are composing your life. You can move that freely through the world and create whatever your mind's eye can see. You will feel like you have a connection to this divine creative source and that you can bring anything forth into this world. And yes, at times it's going to feel quite surreal. I also feel like you guys are going to be highly psychic in this new phase of your life. Your psychic abilities are just going to go through the roof, even if they're pretty strong right now. So be prepared for that. All right, the next card is going to be about how you will grow and transform in this new cycle. I know we've seen a little bit of that throughout this reading already, but let's see if Spirit has any more details for you guys about that. How will you be growing and transforming in this new cycle? How will you grow and transform in your new cycle? Ooh, we have 5 of Swords. Okay, I feel like you guys are gonna stop giving a shit completely about what other people are thinking or about what other people are saying. This is a card that talks about conflicts, disagreements, confrontations, arguments. So it does have the feeling of people disagreeing with you or people not being energetically aligned with you. And I've also seen it as like people who are jealous of you. So it's interesting because before, with this communication card in your old cycle, I did feel like, if somebody disagrees with you, you will try to make peace with them. Or if somebody is on a different level than you, you will try to meet them at their level. I feel like this was your habit or this was your instinct before, where you're the one, or you feel like you're the one who has to go and match that other person, who has to go and accommodate that other person. If somebody doesn't like you, you feel like you have to fix that, even if it's not that you wronged them or you hurt them in some way. There's just something about your personality or the way you express yourself that they don't like. Maybe you guys have felt like you have to change that, or you have to behave in a different way to suit them and appease them. And I feel like those days are over for you guys because you're more confident in yourself and you're more strongly rooted in who you are. You've done the work, you've faced yourself, you've gotten to know yourself. You're fully committed to your own happiness and your own dreams in this cycle. So now when someone disagrees with you, you're like, okay, see if I care. You can think whatever you want. And I feel like with this too, it comes with a release of control issues. Like you feel like you don't have to make everybody like you, or you don't have to make everybody happy. And not everybody has to like what you do. You don't have to concern yourself with this stuff anymore. People can think whatever they want, people can say whatever they want, and you can still do whatever you want, and you can still be whatever you want. So these days of trying to accommodate everybody and trying to please everybody and concerning yourself with what they're saying, I feel like that's completely over. Like you could just not, it's like you can't even find the energy within you to do this anymore. Like, how did I even have the mental capacity to deal with these people? You just don't have the time. You don't have it in you. And finally, now I wonder what Spirit's gonna give us here. I'm gonna see if I can find a time frame for you guys. Spirit, can you give us a time frame for this new cycle? What do we have? Oh, okay, thank you. We have the Six of Swords. So swords are a pretty fast moving energy. This would lead me to believe that this could be happening sooner than you expect. I probably wouldn't interpret this as 6 months, but maybe more something like 6 weeks. That seems pretty soon. Or it could even be like 6 days for some of you, within a week. This is a timeless reading, but if 6 weeks from now, or 6 days, happens to be in an air sign season, like Gemini season, Libra season, Aquarius season, that could be even more confirmation that this is when it is. Yeah, so you guys are like the only, you guys are the only pile that got such a specific time frame. Thank you, Spirit. So those are all the messages that I have for you today, so I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best in this transition. I really am excited for you guys, and I know that this cycle ending, it could be a little bit tough, but Spirit wants you to know that whatever's coming for you is like 5 million times better and more exciting and more fulfilling than what you have been through up until now. And you will have to be pinching yourself like every 2 seconds. Okay, please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a-cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!